Man, here we go. Oh boy, do we got a show tonight. Welcome to season 4, episode 403, as we continue to rock and roll. It's your man's and them, the one and only Coach Tony. And obviously, you have tuned in to the Pull Up Podcast show. Take care of a couple of housekeeping notes. Make sure you do a few things for me as we get started here. Please make sure you share the show with friends and make sure they sharing it. Please make sure you like the show more importantly. And then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Continue to subscribe to the show as we bring you quarter by quarter sports information. Man, tonight I got another doozy. I got a fan favorite. Obviously, I'm Big Ten heavy. So my guy that's on with me tonight is going to tell you some Big Ten stories and some things that rock your world. So please make sure you do a couple of things as we get started. Also, if you have any comments, questions for our guests, please make sure you put them in the tagline so Val, the voice, can put them up. So before we bring the guests out tonight, man, you already know what to do, Val. Drop it.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast.
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast show. Kay Springer, thanks for checking in tonight. As you guys come in tonight, we'll make sure we say hello to everyone. I appreciate your support on the podcast. We've been rocking and rolling into our 4th season tonight, held by the great state of Indiana, as they call God's country, for when it comes to basketball. Also, Purdue Boilermaker. For those that don't know, not really down south, but more like central Indiana, in the middle of the state. But this cat was tearing up the whole entire state, mentored to thousands of young men through his impactful program and academy that he has in Atlanta, Georgia. Also a business entrepreneur. So not only did he finish up the game, but he turned that into some business opportunity. Family man indeed, God man in his heart, author of a great book, Gracefully Broken. We're going to bring out my guy to the stage tonight, the one and only Coach Walter Jordan. Welcome to the stage, my brother.
Tony, man, thanks for just a great introduction, man. I'd be remiss if I didn't just compliment you and Val on the job you guys are doing. I've been a fan for about 3 years now. Once I found you was doing this, and you guys have blown me away, man. I'm honored and humbled to be with you guys tonight, so I appreciate that.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. We've just been growing by leaps and bounds. It was so funny. I had LeVar Ball on, and he was telling me how he got, watching the show. He said, man, the one thing I like about it, you not only consistently come on and give us good information, but you don't care about who's out there. You just want to make sure you give out the message. So to hear that from you, man, I definitely appreciate it. And, and for a lot of people that don't know, in this space, in this game, this brother right here is the one who got me started 20-some years. I've been knowing Coach Jordan over 20 years now. And just gave me some impactful things as I was getting started as a young rookie, because I wasn't about to even dibble and dabble in this. And man, when you came through and just kind of laid the road work and the foundation of, hey, you ever thought about doing the AAU? Here's how it works. Here's how it operates. So I want to take my hats off to you, man, and appreciate it, because 25 years later, I'm still going strong, man. So I appreciate you.
I'm just super proud of you, man. I remember those conversations well. I remember your vision, though. You had something in your eye that said, I want to do something. I want to make a difference. I love kids. I want to get involved in my community. I want to make a difference. You had that passion. It was easy to see. So sharing that information and conversations with you, man, I was inspired to see what God has done. It truly blows me away. And I'm so grateful that he's taken you and the lives you've been able to touch and the difference you've made in these communities, man. It's truly a blessing.
Man, I appreciate it. Hey, let's jump in here with all 2 feet, man. Let's get it. First of all, I want to do a couple of things early on. Our girl, Bella's not feeling that good, so we want to send some prayers out to her. She hit me today, said she was feeling a little bit under the weather, so hopefully she checks in tonight. If not, I want to let everybody know this is basically part 2. We had a great part one interview over a week ago on Bella Unplugged Friday, and we had a great time just talking and jiving around. So for those of you that got an opportunity to watch us on Bella Unplugged, I appreciate you very much. Got my boy from Morgan Park, Southside, Gary checking in the house tonight. What's up, baby? Hey, Walt, let's take us back to the great state and get us back to the early days of when you got into the game of basketball. What kind of told you at that time that basketball was going to be your sport?
Well, one thing I learned being one of 10 children, 7 boys and 3 bedrooms, and not poor.
Right, Poe.
7 boys sleeping in one room, 3 girls sleeping in one room, my parents sleeping in the other, and didn't really have anything. But all we know is everybody around us looked just like we did. So we had so much love, man. And I tell people all the time, the Jordan family, we were drugged. They would say, "What do you mean you were drugged?" I said, "Yeah, we were drugged to church on Sundays. We were drugged to church on Saturdays. We were drugged. We had to go serve the Lord." Right. And so we had faith, and we had love, and we had values and morals. And one thing to always remember is that my mom used to always stress is there's 3 things she knew for sure. She said, first thing, Satan has a serious game plan for your life. He said, that's the bad news. He said, the good news, so do God.
Okay.
The best news is you get to choose.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I stuck in my mind just watching her talk to my older siblings like that on a daily basis. And being the 7th child, I would pick up those little nuggets. So when I was in the 5th grade, I decided to go out for the basketball team because my friend decided to go. I was horrible. Now, I never played before in my life. Right. I got cut in the layup line. I shot a layup. It's wintertime.
All I Sam Bowie when he got hurt in the line.
You know what I'm saying? So I went home crying, and I learned how to be thick-skinned right away because I know my siblings weren't going to have me come in there crying like a sissy. My brother's going to be all over. What you crying for? You expect to make the team? You didn't even play basketball. You're horrible. You want somebody to give you something for free? So those are nuggets that my mom kept saying, but if you really want to do it, you got to go practice. You got to get better. So I did. 6th grade, I came back for the team. Guess what, Tony? I got cut again.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm the clown of the class. Now everybody's talking about me. Everybody, Jordan's horrible, man. Why don't you give this up? Right. 7th grade, I went to middle school, and they had a rule: nobody get cut. So I was the 22nd best player out of 22 on the team.
Okay. I got that same rule in my school. Get a cut rule.
Absolutely. But I made the team. My thing was I wanted to be part of a team. All I know is I saw my older brothers and sister, Loretta, play on basketball teams and sports teams, and they were all part of the team. I said, man, I just want a uniform. I just want to be on the team.
Right.
But then I started to love the game. So I remember I always think about my dad and my older siblings. You say, man, why you sit there and worry about people, not lifting you up? Do you expect them to be around when you're down? No, if they're not going to lift you up, they're not going to be around. So why listen to them? Listen to who's people telling you you can do it. And that's what my family kept telling me. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. That's all I heard every day. But at school, I was a clown. I was the one that never went to a barbershop because we couldn't afford it. And my brother would cut my hair, and I have holes in my head. I was the one, and people would talk about me like a dog, But thank God I never listened to them. I used them as a springboard to what I needed to do. That got me to be thick-skinned. That's one of my talents, I think, because I don't listen to the noise. I block out the noise, and I was able to do that. So when I got to high school, same thing. We went out in 71. We had the big racial divide because of the busing situation. Just like, remember the Titans. That was really my class. That story is my story. We had the fights and we had like 5% black in my class. So they didn't want us there, and we didn't want to be there. We had to literally take a bus to 10 schools, past 10 schools to get to this school, where all my brothers, older siblings went to basically all black schools. That's where I thought I was going until the last minute, and that came in. So it was a lot of tension, man, and a racial divide. And it was a mess. But I knew 2 things. My mom would say, I never have to come to that school for anything. My dad used to say, when you leave the home, don't mess up my last name.
Don't mess. Hey, I got the same rule.
Don't mess up my last name.
Whatever you want. Don't mess up my last name.
I was more afraid of my parents than anything else anybody else could do to me.
Yes, sir.
So that's the George principles and standards and morals. We understood. And so I couldn't get involved in any of that mess. But I thank God I didn't, because we weren't allowed to. I always say some families teach hate. Families I know grew up in my neighborhood, we taught love. Right. We didn't see isms. We didn't see black. We saw it, but we were taught to love people,
right?
Despite. And so when I went to Northrop High School, we had the racial tension. Our school was only 3 years old, and everybody can think that, you know, in Indiana there's only one state champion.
That's right.
And so my junior year, we was 24-3. We had a very talented team. We got beat one game from state. I started on my junior year in high school, not because I was one of the best scorers, because I was the best defender. We were getting ready to play a team, a guy by the name of Jimmy Webb. You might know that name.
Webb.
South Bend Adams went to Cincinnati, and he had just scored 40 on our varsity the year before. So my junior year, right before our second game, we got beat our first game. Coach says, "Who wants to guard Jimmy Webb?" And that one hand went up of mine. I hadn't played but 3 minutes the first game.
Right.
So here's the second game my junior year. He says, "You got him." So guess what? Next day in school, all my teammates trying to tell me how to guard. And I said, "He scored 41 on y'all last year. I don't think I could do any worse." So they came in number one in the state, and we beat them. And I scored 16. From that point on, I start. Even though we had 9 players returning that was seniors, and I'm the first year on varsity. So they got me in the door. And then I started to grow and started to really love the game and have success. And then the next year, man, November, I'll never forget it, right before Thanksgiving, my mom passed. And she instantly became my angel. It was about a week before our first game, playing our arch rivals. And seemed like my whole class, all my classmates in schools, white, black, blue, they was coming to the hood at my house to be with me all that week. Right. So I hadn't been to school all week, but that Friday, my brother said, "You need to go to school because they've been here for you all week. You need to go for them." I didn't think I was going to play that night, but I prayed about it, and my mom was there and gave me strength. And we ended up beating our arch rival, which they were favored to win the city. And that was our start to going 28-1 and win the state championship. Because my mom, I always say that she had a lot to do with that, the vision. Everybody bought into it, and it was just a magical season. I contributed that a lot to my mom being that angel.
Wow, that is amazing. And my boy Debo, we just off the golf course yesterday, right in line with what you're talking about. He says, you know, when you're looking at everything, how do you feel that the young folks today, in today's era, and you and I are tied heavy into these young kids, how do they lack the passion and determination like you did when you were coming up? You know, again, I know you had internal family and all that, but another piece that you didn't even talk about until, I know coming from Chicago and Indiana, those streets be out there in them parks too. We ain't had them gyms. We had to go out in the hood. We had to go out and play. So, you know, you had a choice to make between playing in the streets and playing with those. But do you see some of the same influences and the lack of determination with some of these younger kids today?
It blows me away, Tony, and saddens me that I tell my kids all the time, I wish you'd be as tough as your mom. Mom, you got to have some. The reason why they do everything they do for you is because they love you. If this is only about you, your dream and vision is only about you, you will fail. You have to have something deeper inside of you. You want to make your mom proud. You want your last name to mean something. These kids today are so, excuse me for saying, soft. They don't understand their work ethic. They want everything right now. Yes. They don't want to put the work in, Tony.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you tell them to go shoot the ball in the park, it's too hot. Everybody, no personal self-discipline.
Or the best coach, I had my kids, I told them one day we had to get out of the gym because it was just that hot, the air conditioning. And they told me they didn't have the right shoes going outside. I'm like, what gym shoes you need? I thought you just gym shoes, man. You know, I can't, coach, I can't go out there on the asphalt.
That is so funny because you know and I know we had one pair of gym shoes and street shoes to wear at church or something. Exactly. That was it. And sometimes, you know, I was like I said, I was just the fourth boy. So I got hand-me-downs. Yeah, the time it got to me, I had my first pair of new shoes in 9th grade. And I had to go cut some weeds and some lawns to go buy those shoes, Converse, so those are team shoes, just so I can have them. You tell the kid to do that today, they're crying because their mom not buying a $300 pair of tennis shoes.
Right. You got to be a Jordan or the brand new when you come off the boat.
And then they don't want to go play in them. What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Or the best one, when I see them walk around the mall or someplace and they don't want to get the crinkle in the toe. So they walk like, Frankenstein, but they don't want to get the crinkle in anything. Man, that's absolutely crazy.
Tony, they don't even want to tie the shoes up when they're playing ball no more.
No, they don't.
What's going on? But it's so sad because we have let these kids down. When I say our generation and the generation after us, because we're producing soft kids. We're not producing tough kids. Life is hard.
Yeah,
life is hard, and we got to understand they can't afford for us to be their friends until they're out of the house and paying their own bills. Now you can be my friend. Right. As long as I'm paying your bills and helping you get through college, whatever else I'm doing, I am not your friend.
Right.
I'm your dad.
Right.
And that just have to be that way.
Yeah, that's right. I tell you what, we are on the air tonight with my main man and them, Coach Walter Jordan. And we got these bills we got to pay. Make sure to get these collectors out of my pocket. Hey, we'll be right back to the second quarter with your man, Coach Tony. And this is the Pull Up Podcast Show. Val, let's pay these first quarter bills. We'll be right back in 1 second.
Hey, I'm Coach Tony, and this is the Pull Up Podcast Show. For every Monday, we break down the game quarter by quarter and give you information as well as break down the coach. Join us on the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Bounce the voice and Coach Tony, it's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said bounce the voice and Coach Tony, it's the Pull Up Podcast.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the Key Spot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. Key Spot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. Key Spot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show with your mans and them, the one and only Coach Tony. And my guy sitting in with me tonight, Mr. Big Ten himself, Purdue University, Walter Jordan. Let's go back here, Coach. Now, you in high school, you're doing everything. I already know mom and dad's on you, your brother's on you, the neighborhoods kind of tell you, because, once you get to a certain point in the city, for a lot of people don't understand, the neighborhood understand that you could be that one kid, because when you get big, we all get big. That's how the hood works and all that. How did you come about choosing to go to Purdue? Because you had Michigan on the list, you had Michigan State on the list, you had a lot of schools that was there, even a couple of high-powered D2 that was right there in your back door, and some NAIA schools. So how did you end up saying, hey, I want to stay here and play at Purdue?
Tony, as you know, when I was coming through, there was no 4-star, 5-star, 3-star. You position 4, 5, 3-man. Can you play?
Right.
Can you play? And so going back to that high school situation, it was a situation where going to my senior year, like I told you, my junior year, I didn't even make all city. Going back to my senior year, no one expected my high school to do anything. We were listed 4th, 5th best team in the city of Fort Wayne. And then we ended up winning the state championship 6 or 7 months later. So bottom line was I was in the grind. See, a lot of people want to be great until they get the invoice.
Right.
I got the invoice and decided I wanted to keep going.
Okay.
So I ended up growing to be 6'5" in between my junior and senior year. I would go down to Bloomington, Indiana, where my 2 brothers and sisters went to school. So they would take me out to the Hyper building in IU.
Hyper, yeah.
I would play all day. I'd go down there a whole month, and my vision started to expand. I got to see a college life. I got to play against college kids. I got to hoop every day. They'll drop me off in the morning, go class, do what they got to do, pick me up in the evening. And then they gonna come hoop with me. Then we go back house. That's what I did. I had lunch with me, and I just was here. I was just getting better, leaps and bounds, growing too. I was 6'3", then all of a sudden I'm 6'5", and now I thank God. Now my high school coach put me at guard. I was 6'5" guard. Even before Magic, I was 6'5" guard.
Okay.
And that was unheard of back then. I could play defense. I can handle the ball. I can do a lot of different things. So we had 6'11", 6'6", 6'5", and we were just super close, man. We were super close. Had 5'8" point guard, white guy, and the rest of us was brothers. And he was a brother, and we just bonded, man. That brought the whole entire school together. We played for each other. I have classmates today, man, still some of my best friends 50-some years later.
Oh, that's dope.
No matter what color they are, we like family. I'll tell you, we're family. They've been there for me. I've been there for them. But we brought the school. A lot of people give us credit for bringing the city together because of the racial tension during those times. They give our high school because a lot happened in Indiana when you win the Indiana State Championship.
Oh, yeah.
So during the semi-state, I remember I scored 37 points in Marion. No one never ever go to Marion and beat Marion. We did that. So everybody's like, oh, that's when we knew he was going to be really good, middle of the season. And so we went on that run, and we just decided we weren't going to get beat. Nobody's going to beat us. Bottom line, we end up winning the state championship in front of 17,000 in Bloomington, Indiana, where my brother's going to school. My sister was there. So that was one of my things. We're going to win the state championship March 23rd. I tell my whole teammates, March 23rd, we're going to be in Bloomington playing for the state championship. That was my vision. That was my mom, though. That was God. And I knew that. It was something special happening. So when it came down to it, coming back from semi-state and going win the state championship, I probably had one solid offer. That 4 week span, that run I had was magical. I was just unbelievable. And coming back from state championship, I remember we had Monday off because the mayor gave the entire city off of school because we won the state. So nobody went to school on that Monday. They had a big old parade.
Special day.
It was cold and crazy. So I come back to school on Tuesday. I go to home room, and the AD calls home room to have Walter come down to the office. I go to the office. Literally, there's a box this big, Tony, handwritten letters from colleges, almost every major college, definitely in the Midwest and the Big Ten.
Yeah, wasn't no computers back to the kids, but for y'all, listen, everything was handwritten.
It was overnight. And the AD, I come down, he said, these are all for you. I said, get out of here. I literally started bawling in his office. I could not believe it. And I had these letters from Bobby Knight and he coached and some big name coaches that I watched play. And all of a sudden, I had to make a choice. My first visit was to Michigan. I really like Michigan. I like Marquette. I like Michigan State. I wouldn't even plan on going to Purdue. I went to Purdue. Purdue was like my fifth choice. Indiana was my fourth choice. So Eugene Parker, a very good friend of mine, God rest his soul, one of the top sports agents ever, one of the best guys. One of my roommates at Purdue University, teammates, and he passed away about 7 years ago. But he was like one of my best friends. But he's somebody I respected. He was probably the best player in Fort Wayne at that time. He's been recruited by Purdue and Tulane. Those are his final two choices. He calls me up and said, hey, Walt, I'm going down to Purdue, man. I know you made a decision yet. Just ride down with me. I said, okay, I'll ride down with you. And you'll like this story, T. So that day, there's a guy by the name of Adi Matthews who's supposed to be at that meeting with Eugene, not me. Adi had canceled the visit.
He went to Illinois, didn't he?
Right, because he's going to commit to Illinois. Exactly right. So I'm riding to Purdue with Eugene. They don't know I'm coming. So I get to the coach's office, and one of the assistant coaches, thinking I'm Adi, calling me Adi Matthews. and then they found out later today he's committed to Illinois. So now they're thinking, okay, Walt must be interested in Purdue. So on the way back, Eugene Parker did his spiel. I wanted to play with Eugene because he's one of my guys I looked up to. And that's why I committed to Purdue.
Oh, wow, man. That is amazing. Then when you get to Purdue down there, like you said, now you back to being the freshman. You back to being the young cat. But what was the mindset when you walked through that school? Because you're like, okay, now I'm in the Big Ten. Now I'm about to go here and compete against these guys because my guy was right behind you on our side of the house, Levi Cobb.
Absolutely.
And Levi came out of Morgan Park right before I did and went down to Illinois to play on the backside of that. And so what was it? Because I want people to draw this vision. At this time, we're still talking about rectangle backboards. We're talking about no three-point line at this time.
No dunking.
No dunking. Exactly right. And so what was the mindset that now you already know that you've done what you could do in Indiana, but now you at Purdue? Who at the time, who was the best team in the Big Ten when you came in as a freshman? You remember?
That's a great question. You know, back in it when I played in the Big Ten, and I'm prejudiced, I think the best era ever in the Big Ten. I can name players and blow people away. When
Mm-hmm.
I came in, two of my 4 years, Indiana University was undefeated one year and lost one game the year before. You had Michigan going to the Final Four. You had Minnesota, McHale and Michael Thompson and Ray Williams.
Yeah.
Illinois, you had Wisconsin, Wes Matthews, you had Northwestern with Billy McKinney. Every team had NBA players on their roster. And you had to lace them up, man. There was no nights off in the Big Ten. Michigan State, Greg Kelser, Magic. These are people I played against. Played against Bird. You know, I mean, I played against Bird in high school. We ended up being teammates in Indiana High School All-Star game before I went to college. That's when I started to realize all these guys I read about in high school. I was on the court with them now playing against the Indiana Kentucky All-Star Series where I was starting ahead of these guys I've praised and looked up to. And that's when I found out I can play with those guys. So by the time I got to Purdue, my confidence level was way up here now because I said, oh, wow, I can do this. Absolutely.
Wow. Plus, you have been playing in shoot every day down in Indiana and doing high school, and they ain't realized that. That place is big. That thing's got like 32 courts in there, man.
Oh, absolutely.
It's huge. I remember when I first went in there for a basketball camp, I saw that. And it's the first time I got a chance to meet Bobby. I was like 85 camp. And when I walked in there, I'm looking, I was like, oh my God. It's like, if you're down in Indiana and you say you can't get better, then you don't want to play ball because it's like 32 in one building. It was like ridiculous.
That's what back in the day, Tony, every driveway had a basketball court. And you always see people out there shooting. You don't see them out there shooting anymore.
Man, I when I took my agent to a game and we went to play and we went to this high school and played. I think it was, God dog, I should know it now. I've been there 50 million times. But when we walked in, they had the AAU game in the auxiliary gym, which was big as some high school gyms here in Nashville. And then the main court was like ridiculous. They walked in and said, Coach, oh my God, we went to a middle school that was big as some high school. I said, dude, you in basketball, man. That's what these people do. They gonna shovel the driveway off in the wintertime and they're gonna keep on playing ball, man. That's what we do.
Absolutely. I mean, you playing in gymnasiums in Indiana high school basketball, see, 20, 25,000 people. I never remember playing in less than a sellout crowd when I played my junior, senior year. Everywhere we went, 3,000, 4,000, max out capacity, every gym we played in. High school basketball, sit down. Yeah, and that's changed a little bit. But those memories, man, it's amazing. And being in Bloomington, everybody thought I was going to IU because my brothers and sisters went there. That was another reason why I didn't want to go there.
Right.
So it was interesting. Bobby Knight thought I was coming there as well. So
Bobby was something else. So how did and you get there because you played for Coach who was the coach?
Fred Shouse.
Right before Coach Katie came in and all that. When did you realize at Purdue and in the Big Ten when you start getting that notoriety that you start saying, I think I may be able to play at the next level?
Well, I was just really working, man. I had my head down to grind. I accepted that invoice. I was paying that invoice, and we were grinding. We had Wayne Walls, another freshman, Eugene Parker, and myself. We all came in together. Mike White from Peoria, Illinois. We all four came in together, and we worked, man. We bonded, man. And hats off to my upperclassmen because they accepted us as freshmen. Came as a freshman. You start 3 freshmen, and that Purdue team had just won the NIT the year before. So it wasn't like they were slouch.
Right.
So to come into Purdue in the first Big Ten game, a home game, we played Michigan State with Terry Furlow. And those guys, Terry Furlow, those guys don't know. He's unbelievable. God rest his soul. But the first Big Ten game, I scored 28 points in my first Big Ten game as a freshman.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I realized, okay, and coaches put the ball in my hand and said, yeah, we need him to score. He could score. And so that became my shot was I can get my shot off on anybody, and that really helped me.
Man, that's absolutely incredible. And like you said, you're talking about a tough Big Ten. So, you going in as a freshman, you got Eugene, these guys respecting you. And at that time, you were still growing.
Yes. I came in at 6'5", Tony. I left at 6'8". And that ain't God, but it's just a situation, man, where stuff started happening in your life, and then you start to realize who's really in control. It's not your plan; it's God's plan. And I thank God that I was humble enough to never have that entitlement attitude, because I was one of those guys that knew I had to work. I wasn't that type of guy, Tony, that could take 2 or 3 days off and then go to the gym and hit buckets. I had to constantly get my timing on, get my groove on, and work. I couldn't do it. Some guys, just naturally, they can take a week off and come out and get you 30. That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Right, man. I tell you, we're talking about the work ethic, talking about the college life. He's sitting here talking to my guy, Walter George, coach, mentor, and author. We're going to take a break. It's halftime right now. Go in, because Coach and I both have the MAU team, so we know the halftime talk what it's going to be about. Val, let's pay a couple of more bills. We'll be right back to the third quarter, and we come back. We got a special video for you.
Hey, it's your main man, right back at you. Coming live here from the Rise Studios. And it's your guy talking about what? Pull Up Podcast Show. What is the Pull Up Podcast Show? It's a brand new podcast hitting your airways nationwide, talking everything on sports, from baseball, basketball, hockey, and then I tell you, we're going to have a lot of fun. So make sure, if you want your questions answered, you want to have fun talking a lot of sports, make sure you pull up on me, because it's the Pull Up Podcast Show.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up.
Also, for those that want to learn a little bit more about this right here, oh yeah, that right there, that's the Rise, NIL, talking name, image, and likeness. Those having opportunities, getting paid, you want to tune in to it.
Sports show, let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Let's go.
Man, welcome back to the third quarter. I tell you, Brother Water, every time I hear my little nephew's track, man, I be bouncing with it, man.
Is that your nephew?
Yeah, he dropped that one for me, man. And speaking of that, I'm proud of him, man. He just won another contest that he just was in Atlanta. So he's down to the Final Four with some big-time producers, Will Smith producer. Wow. Keith Sweat's got some producers and a couple other people. So I'm wishing him his luck coming in the big weeks, man. So still touching these kids, man, in many ways, man.
I love it, T. I love it.
Trying to do it.
You never miss your assignment.
Yeah, there you go.
You got your assignment. I appreciate you.
Like you said, man, don't be taking no days off up here, man. Don't be taking no days off.
I know that's right.
And speaking of, tell the people what you just kind of the nice little award that you just got from the state in Purdue, man. Just talk to the people a little bit about, how they paid you some good homage.
Yeah, man, I get emotional thinking about it, man. Just to thinking about the thousands of athletes that's come through that university in all sports. It's all sports award. And, to think that I'm still in the top 10 after 50 some years.
Wow.
Scoring at Purdue in the top 10 and rebounding after 50 some years. All the great players that came out of Purdue University. That blows me away. You don't play basketball for stats. We look at the scoreboard. We're trying to win games. We're trying to go somewhere. And I never was a stat person. I hate stats. I say stats are for losers.
Right.
You're just out there trying to play, but when the coaches and teammates believe in you and tell you this is your role, everybody's got a role.
Yep.
If their role is to score buckets, you better be ready to score buckets. It's to rebound and play defense because you're trying to win. And we respect each other together as a unit. So when the gentleman they named the Purdue Hall of Fame after Leroy Keys, if people don't know Leroy Keys is probably one of the greatest all-time greatest college football players of all time. Played both ways, all American both ways. He was unbelievable. I got a chance to know him after my playing days at Purdue. We connected. He was special. Everybody loved Leroy Keys. They named the Hall of Fame award Leroy Keys Memorial Hall of Fame. And I was inducted to the Hall of Fame in the class of 2023. And it broke me down, man, because I never expected that's something that, that's forever at that university. for somebody to consider that. A lot goes in that besides your on-court persona. It's your character. It's who you are. It's your leadership. You know, it speaks values of your principles and morals and what you did. Because if you didn't carry yourself a certain way, there's no way that school is going to honor you, especially Purdue and being in that environment, in that culture. If you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And to get that award, man, to have my family all there, and my wife, my beautiful wife, Rhonda, and everybody there to celebrate that moment, man. And of course, the first thing I had to do is get on my knees and reflect and thank my mama, because she's still my angel to this day.
Still watching down.
And I think so it just blows me away, man. And just how people watching you. You never know, people watching you. So right. I'm deeply humbled and honored by that award for sure. Man,
I tell you, that's why I always know I'm in good hands, man, between you and my boy Conso Martin. You know, absolutely. Purdue guys, even though I'm a Illini guy on the other side of the border,
it's all good.
Just between you and Zoe, man, you know, Zoe ain't never turned me down. I always reach back out. Matter of fact, when I opened and launched the podcast, Walt, Zoe was my first guy. Came on, gave me his time, interviewed me if I needed a question, need anything, whatever it may be. You know, it's always been good. So it's much love.
I have to mention this because I watched that podcast. That was very touching. His story is amazing. And you did an awesome job of bringing that to the forefront. You guys did a great job. I watched that entirely.
And I appreciate it, man. I'm just like, between the two of you guys, man, I can't be molded any better than what I'm doing. I'm trying to get back to stuff that I got, you know. But now, you know, I want these people, because I got a lot of my guys on tonight, you know, especially doing the new stuff about the NILs and all the money. We're talking about a time that he just said he wasn't worried about stats. He's playing because they're trying to win. Big Ten was a grind. For those that don't know, I know I fight the SEC guys all the time. I love it. But during that time at the Big Ten was one conference, one winner, period. You know, the whole conference, one team move on. Not going to play for the conference championship. Didn't happen back in the day. Not like that. Once you got to the point that you were up and now that name was synonymous, how did the NBA guys start to treat you when you started to know, hey, man, I'm not ready to go to the next level? Because you ended up getting picked up by, I think it was New Jersey, right?
Yes. Yeah, when I came out of college, a lot of things was going on with the NBA. This is a year or two before Magic and Bird came in and changed the scope of the league.
Correct.
So the NBA was in hard times when I came out of college. Very desperate time. They were thinking about folding. The fact that Nets
were they merged with the ABA, right?
Right. The Nets was thinking about folding. The ABA folded. So you took away all those jobs. They took the rosters down from 12 to 11 at that time. So they were trying to save money. You play in front of you. You follow the Bulls. You know what those stadiums was like back in the day.
Yeah. Before sit on the bench at halftime.
Oh, absolutely. And so even though I played in this era with Bird and Magic, I'm 2 years older than the Magic, same age as Bird, even because Bird he came out of high school same year I did. But remember, he set out his freshman year. He left Indiana, so he set out to Indiana State. So we're same age. But so just to know that was coming, I had no idea that was coming, because when Magic and Bird played in that final game, that changed the scope of college basketball forever and also NBA. So that was the time I was coming out. And so the Nets drafted me. I was excited because I was a Dr. J fan. I was a Bernard King fan. I was Nets, Kevin Lockery fan, and I went there and I played the entire exhibition season. I had a great, shot 60%. I averaged about 16 off the bench. I was doing well. I got my first check. I was going to move into an apartment. I was ready to go 2 days before first game. So it's 11 players, and so at an 11-man roster. The Knicks got sued for invasion of territory, so they had a player who they had to take and pay, who had a guaranteed contract. I did not have a guaranteed contract. So I got cut a day before we were supposed to fly to Detroit to play the Pistons. All my family was all scheduled to come see me play. I had to call them and tell them don't come because I got cut. But that's when it hit me up about the business. And that's why I respect people like Bernard King and those guys, because they didn't have to do it, but they made it a point to come to me and said, don't you give up. You belong in this league. You can play this game. Mm-hmm. To have somebody at Bernard King, who I still hold as one of the top to ever play this game, to come into me and say, hey, man, don't give up. You belong in this league. So that kept me going. So I was determined to come back because I heard my mom in her last words, a few of her last words, was that boy's going to be a pro. I heard that before I didn't know she was dying of cancer in a hospital bed. She told my dad that boy's going to be a pro. So I had some work to do. I had to make it happen. And so I thank God that the gentleman by the name of Bill Musselman, who was a coach at Minnesota, who recruited me, who coached against me in the WNBA, who watched me play against him in college, who believed in me. So he got the job at Cleveland. He called me before it was announced in the media and said, "Hey, I'm getting this job. I want you to come play for me. And I know you belong in this league. You can play. I love everything about your game." And so he gave me a 2-year contract, and that was my break. And I had a chance to sign with Houston later on before I signed with the Cleveland. But I'm a loyal person, and I always remember the loyalty and the faith he had in me. So that's what I end up doing.
Oh yeah, and then you fought some injuries, some big time injuries during that time, and you didn't have that now medicine the way that people have.
Yeah, man. I had for all my life I've been dealing with some body issues. I don't know what that's been. That's Satan's plan. Remember we talked about the 3 things. So before I got to the NBA, I had something. I just played in the WBA. It was 1-year league out on the West Coast. It was an awesome league. Best talent, some of the best coaches, Huey Brown, Musselman, some of the best coaches coaching, some of the best players played in that league. It was better. It was like the G League. I think a step below G League. Only lasted 1 year. Reno, Las Vegas, Washington, state of Washington, great cities. But I played in the state of Washington. We had just completed our season, and we all went out on the town that night before. I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and collapsed. I don't drink, so I had 1 beer, so I wasn't drunk. So I got turned the lights on. My knees and my ankles are swollen up 3 times their size, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. So, make it long story short, I basically had to call the team doctor, and they took me to some specialists. No one could find. I was supposed to be traveling back to Indiana, driving back with all my stuff, and took me back. And I mean, literally, I couldn't walk. I mean, I was in such pain and didn't understand it. And finally found out. I got to Indianapolis, went to some specialists. 5th specialist finally called the Writer's syndrome. It's a very rare disease. 1 in a trillion something gets it. And I had it. Now, along this time, Tony, you gotta remember, our season just ended. The playoffs in the NBA was just starting.
Right.
Big George McGinnis had gotten hurt. So they were trying to find somebody to come play that roster spot, and they had called my agent and said we're thinking about picking a walk. Remember, I'm hurt right now. I can't go. I just finished first team all conference, one of the leading scorers in that league. So people saw me playing all year. They've been scouting me, so they said he's in shape. He can come help us. So long story short, you talk about praying. I kept telling my agent. I didn't want to tell my agent I was hurt because I was thinking I'm gonna ice this thing all night. I'm gonna soak it all night. I'm gonna be tomorrow. Well, call me back tomorrow and we'll get your flight reservations. Okay, call me back tomorrow. And I had to tell him, hey man, I can't do it. But that was God's plan. So my thing at that point in time, it hit me up that I can care less about shooting the basketball. All I wanted to do was be able to walk again. I just wanted to walk again. That's what my prayer, just to let me walk. Lord, let me walk again. I'm 22 years old, So long story short, the good Lord brought me back to health 6 months ago, 6 months from there. And then that's when I got that call from Bill Musselman. And I had like 6 months to get my butt in shape.
Right.
And every day, man, I went to work, and thank God it worked out like it did.
Man, that was Mom the angel looking over. She said, God, he gonna beat out the devil on this one.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That. Then you get an opportunity to do that and all that. And then how did the league end up going? So once you got situated, how long did you end up getting an opportunity to play before you end up having to do overseas stuff?
Remember, I told you that the times in my life, God always had different plans for me. I had this plan, and God said, I got this plan. You go left, try to go left, but you going here. So I went out to the LA Summer Pro League, had a great Summer Pro League that I played for Cleveland, and we're playing the Lakers, and we're struggling. Cavs, we're struggling. We got Randy Smith, Bill Lambier. We got decent Kenny Carr, Richie Washington. We got some players, right? We got some decent players. Kenny Carr. We got some decent players. We're struggling, and we're playing the Lakers and Kareem and Magic and all those guys. And I couldn't wait to play as a Laker because my coach Musselman always wanted to put me in the game, but the owner at that time, Ted Stepien, didn't like playing rookies, and so he was always look at Coach Musselman, look at Stepien when he was ready to put me in. I see him on the bench, and all the other players knew it too. In fact, Mike Mitchell, who played at Auburn, was a great player in the NBA. Michael always, I played behind Mike, and Mike would say, put him in, put in. Rich White, put Walt in, put Walt in, because they knew I could play.
Right.
And they always had to get permission from the owner. So we're playing the Lakers at the Forum, and I come off the bench, and I hit like 4 out of 5 shots and get us right back in the game. And then, so in the locker room, I noticed something going on with my foot. And I'll never forget it. And Coach Musselman tells the whole team, he said, we're playing Portland tomorrow night. Walt's going to start. Walt was in the boot that night.
Oh, my goodness.
Broke my foot.
Oh, man. That's that other plan.
That's the second time I broke my foot. So it was tough, man. It was tough. And just couldn't stay healthy. And that's when I decided to go overseas and stay healthy in my body and play and just have fun playing basketball.
Man, that's awesome, man. Hey, we're going to end it up here, man. We're getting some nuggets tonight. Coach Jordan dropping some information, man, and we're going to get even deeper a little bit. We're going to take another break here at the end of the third quarter. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter of the Pull Up Podcast Show with your guy, the one and only Coach Tony. Val, pay a couple more bills. We'll be right back to the fourth quarter.
I've always thought about how my mom has supported me in any creative endeavor. How beautiful was it for your mom to be the superhero in your life and show up in your creative ventures with this book?
People ask her to sign the book more than they ask me to sign the book. Sometimes I step to the side, I take their picture. And, we have to celebrate our mothers. We got to celebrate our beginning. So she comes out with me. Every event, she is there. Even when I tell her she does not need to come, she will show up in the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, okay, you coming? Okay. I'm like, all right.
Right. And she got a bottle of wine in her hand.
What in the world? Why are you giving her alcohol?
No, I'm just saying. She showed up in the parking lot. She got a bottle of wine, nice wine. She's going to set it down. She ready for the show, Val. You know what I'm saying? Because the funny part about it is, CJ, I've actually talked to Val. I thought about, writing a book myself called My Man's in There. But,
I love it.
and look at Val.
My man's in them.
My man's in there. But you got to read the book. You got to read the book. But it's a play. CJ, I apologize because Val should have dropped some old Dub C so you could have came out crip walking. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not flamed up right now. I got to hold on. Trying to get me shot.
Going back to school tomorrow, like I saw you, Miss Charles. I saw you.
I mean, I can crip walk, so please, but I'm kind of, I'm authoring right now. You guys are funny.
In a world where young people face immense pressure like never before, the And the Truth Is podcast offers a safe space for real talk, real struggles, and real solutions for student athletes and their families.
A lot of these kids are hurting and they have nobody listen to their stories. Get them to open up and talk and let them know we care about them.
Hosted by former NBA star, author, CEO, and motivational speaker Walter Jordan, the And the Truth Is podcast dives into powerful conversations from the locker room to life's crossroads through authentic stories, dynamic guests, and uplifting insights.
We want to produce walking chokers. There goes somebody to make a difference in the community. That's what we're more about than anything else.
The And the Truth Is podcast. We see you, we feel you, we got you.
Man, welcome back to the fourth quarter Pull Up Podcast Show with your guy, the one and only Coach Tony. Man, Coach Walt, I love that. And the truth is on the podcast launching on 12/25. So, man, talk to us a little bit about that podcast, man.
One of the things, Tony, that you know and I know, a lot of our kids are hurting too. We as adults, we know we go through things, so we get stuck on our own vision and stuff what's going on, but our kids see what's going on too. Our kids are watching us. They know if we're hurting or not.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of kids, man, they're hurting because we as parents, we don't listen. We want to give advice. We want to tell them how great we used to be. You know, this is the way you should be. This is what should happen. Instead of listen to the kid. And sometimes they don't even want their advice. They just want to know that you're there, you care about them, and you're gonna listen to them. And let them talk, let them vent. They're hurting too. When I do camps and leadership camps, one of my favorite things to do is leadership camps. There's nothing to do with basketball. Where I have like 50 young men come in and we feed them for 2 days and we get at them. And one of the things we do at all my camps, I have make them do an assignment. You have to write a paragraph, a paragraph between me and them. If they want to share it with me, fine. If they don't, they don't. But write it and show me you wrote it. So to get them to think. So, and I always say it's a start. And the truth is, tell your truth. Be transparent. When I wrote my book, Gracefully Broken, I did it so I could tell my kids that I had failures. I failed. I fell down, but I got up. I was just like you. I was a sinner. I'm still a sinner. I'm just trying to get better every day. I'm not just this guy because I played basketball and I did this. So I got a trophy. That's not who I am. I hurt too, and I go through things too. The truth is, in the truth, to tell your truth. A lot of us don't tell our truth as adults. We lie to these kids. We talk about how great we used to be. Tell them, no, you wasn't great always. You fell down. You was a sinner, you know. And I have these kids. I tell them this, have them tell them this story. You'd be surprised that what I've gotten back from these kids, man. They make you cry. One young lady said to me, Coach Jordan, I'm suicidal. Her parents didn't know that. I broke down and cried and read that. I had to call people the next day. Do you know this young lady is suicidal? Another lady said, one guy said, I'm a bully. I bully my younger siblings. I beat them up all the time. Do your parents know that? He needs some help.
Right.
He needs some help. One guy says, hey, I want to get closer with God. Can you help me, Coach? Yeah, I can help you with that. I want to learn how to pray. Can you help me with that, Coach? Yeah, I can help you with that. Those are things they're not sharing with their parents. If they're not feeling free, they can share with your parents. And we got to bring these parents to the table too. We got to educate them to what we're trying to do. Right now, this world is in serious uproar about craziness, rage. We're not focusing on our kids. Somebody got and have them talk to us. So be transparent with them, give them good, solid advice, but listen to them. More importantly, hear them, hear what they're trying to say to us, and see how we can help. And we know, you know, and I know, Tony, we have enough connections throughout this country where we can plug people in no matter where they're calling in from, because you and I know everybody. We're 5 people removed from knowing everybody in this game, you know, between you and me. So if they're no matter what state it is, they call and they need some help, we can give them some help. And that's my intent. Man,
I tell you what, speaking of that, tell the story that really moved me. It just is simply about you talking about listening, because funny thing about this, the story about you talking about the mother who wasn't listening to the son, and the son was talking about moving out, and just kind of find out it was something very simple. Because I've had this exact conversation with my son. But before you tell the story, that's funny, because I want to let you know that after you and I had a chance to get on Bella Unplugged, that next weekend I was invited out to a fatherhood and father and son event held by none other than the Tennessee Titans here, and my brother Al Smith, Cat, and
awesome.
The guys was there, and it was really great. It was nothing but men, no women, and just talking about
that. I love that.
How is it in the house? What are your mindsets? What do your sons and your daughters feel? How are you as a husband, or how are you as a mate, or whatever? And the first two times they asked me to go, I had been out of town. And then I came back, and I was really moved, man, just by some of these stories, from some of these gentlemen. And they got another one coming up next month, and they're going to bring in a prostate doctor and give free prostate exams.
I love it.
But the story you talked to me and mentioned about the young man who just broke up with his girlfriend, man, that moved me so much, man. But talk about that real quick.
Yeah, Tony, we get a lot of calls, you and I'm sure a lot of other coaches around the country, from our kids. Once you build that relationship, it's all about their relationship. That trust factor you got to have between that player and that kid and you, and hopefully the parent eventually. And when a parent trusts you, you guys on the same page, now you got something. And I got a call about 2 weeks ago. A mom calls me up, single parent. She calls me up and she said, Coach Jordan, my son won't listen to me. I said, get him on the phone. So I said, go ahead, Mom, tell me what's going on. And so she's talking after about 5 minutes. She's lecturing. And he hadn't spoken a word. So I said, I know the kid. The kid's a good kid. You know, he's a straight A student. He does a lot of good things. He's one of my leaders. So I know he's a good kid. Yep. So I said, do me a favor, man. I said, do me a favor. Get him off the phone and you and I have a private conversation. So she hangs up the phone and she said, did you hear what I said, Coach Jordan, what he's not doing and why I'm mourning like this and that? I said, let me ask you a question. I said, he's a good kid. She said, yes. Is he obedient? She said, yes. I said, you've been talking to him the way you talked to him on the phone today just now? He's 15 years old. She said, oh, yeah. I'm always talking to him like that. I said, can I share something with you? She said, yes, sir. I said, he don't need a lecture. I said, he need a hug. She got really quiet about 1 minute. Then she said, I said, you want to know why I said that? She said, yes, sir. Check him out. He probably just got broke up with his girlfriend.
Wow, something simple.
It was simple as that, Coach. That's exactly what had happened because I knew he was in love with this girl. He thought he was in love with this girl because he would bring her to practice.
Oh, and 15.
15. At 15.
Come watch it. Killing
it. You know, it's something so simple that all he needed was a hug and say, it's going to be all right, honey. It's going to be all right. That first love at 15, man, is heartbreaking. And you lecturing him and you hurting him more because you're not listening to what he's trying to tell. He don't even feel comfortable. He can come tell you about his girlfriend that he's got issues here.
That's amazing.
So it's simple things sometimes, man. Just simple things.
Man, very simple things, man. And it's so crazy too, because like I said, you touch thousands of kids, you know, over the time and whatnot. And I have too, you know, and I appreciate you talking about that. You know, for those that are listening, I was telling Coach that, you know, some of the kids that come off my first and second championship that are now coaching in D1, major D1, two kids are in the league, coaching the scouts right now. And it's great because they reach back out, you know. And by the way, Coach, I ain't tell you this, you're going to love this one right here, man. Oh, this just happened this week to go to show you. And I appreciate you talking about walking trophies when you said, and Coach Justin, I'm going to get to that question in a second too. But Monday, I'm sorry, not this week. What's this? Today is Monday. So it's been last Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday has come about. One of my parents reached out. Now, one of my ball players went to a predominantly white school here in the Nashville area and was put on the team. And you tell me if you'd have played for a coach like this unless you really, really wanted it. So out of my class of 25, the kid was the only kid, Walt, that wasn't playing on a high school team. Wow. But I told him, don't give up. All I want you to do is keep playing for me your sophomore year. We're on the circuit. Keep playing for me your junior year. We're on the circuit. Several weekends on the circuit, he led me in scoring, rebounds, shutting guys down, 3-point percentages, the whole nine. And again, this kid ain't on the team. Wow. So he finally goes and he makes the team. Mom and dad calls me up, says, Coach, we happy, but we not happy. I go, what's the situation? She said, well, the coach put him on the team, but with stipulations. I said, which is what? Well, he can be on the team, but he's not going to play. He can be on the team, but he's going to bag up little Billy. He can be on the team, but if he complains, I'm going to cut him. He can be on the team, but if he does this, I'm going to do that. So she said, I don't even want this. I just want to go ahead and move on. Plus, we're looking at go to an HBCU, blah, 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 this and that. I said, can I tell you what I really want us to do? She said, yes. I said, exactly what you just said a moment ago. I said, I got people. I know people. I can make phone calls, do a couple of things, get him in front of a couple of folks. Whether I can open the door, it's going to be up to him, but I can make the call, never scared to talk to anybody. But what I want us to do is this. The guys that I'm going to call, they need to know he can make a team. And since he's made the team, let's use the team just like the team going to use us. Let's use that team to get in shape. Let's use that team to get in basketball shape. Let's use that team to use the gym so we can put up shots, work on our game, do everything we got to do. Fast forward. Mom hits me up and dad hits me up. How about the kid decided to go to none other than FAMU University?
Wow.
And the kid got an open tryout. And let's say, Walt, got to throw my kid's name up, Amir Rahman. I love you, buddy. I got your back. He made a walk-on D1 at FAMU, Walt. So came through the program. He played only AAU, never played high school, separate senior year, never touched the floor. And now the kid is a Division I ball player, playing for none other than who? Charlie Ward, the very own Florida State who went to the Knicks. So
that's a great story, too. You need to tell stories as often as you can, brother. A lot of us need to hear that, too. Keeps us in the game, keep motivated and inspiring. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. I'm going to follow that young man. I'm going to follow him. For sure.
Yeah, and I just told him that we're going to do that. And Coach Justin, I'll get your question. We're going to go into overtime real quick. Val, let's take a quick commercial. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go to overtime. We'll be right back. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about something special with Coach. Be right back on the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the Key Spot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAT. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. Key Spot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. Key Spot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show with your boy, Coach Tony. We coming at you like Green Bay and Dallas last night in overtime. You know what I mean?
Great game.
Like, oh, my goodness. Second highest scoring game in NFL history, Walt. You know, gotta do something about that overtime, though. I don't care if they going, I was listening to the ESPN. They said the only reason why they don't do sudden death after a tie in an overtime, it would have to be in the playoffs. And then they would do another sudden death.
That's a terrible rule. I hate that rule.
I do too. How about the way these kickers are kicking 70-yard field goal? Here's what I think. Tell me if you like this or not. If you tie at the end of the overtime, start the ball at the 50-yard line, and you let the kickers kick, first one that misses, and people go win the game. Put it on the kicker's hand.
That's better than what they got now. I hate that tie deal. I hate it.
Oh, it's crazy. And Coach Justin had a question. This is my guy. This is my sidekick, my roadie, who handles all my ball players, my ball handler, my dribbling drills and stuff like that. He was asking, when you was overseas in the Spanish league, and whatnot, and did that at the time you were there, did you see the progression of basketball? Because, at one point in those 80s, we were down very much until the Dream Team hit in that early 90s. Then we were back alive, whatnot. Now, you had an opportunity to go overseas on the Olympic side of the house as well and do some big things. But while you were overseas playing FIBA, what did you see the difference then versus today?
What's up, Coach Jay? No, it's a great question. I would warn everybody when I come back to the States that they were coming. The Europeans was coming, and French, and Italy, and Spanish. They were coming. The way that the Europeans athletic field works, you got a young person with talent, no matter what it is, soccer, whatever it is, you middle school age, teenager, they put you in a program, and they train you, and you're trained, and you're playing professionally 14, 15 years old.
Luka Doncic.
You play against grown men And that's what you do. You do your education piece, but you train 5 days a week at least with professional trainers. So when I was playing in say Barcelona or Madrid in Spain, it's like these people get to the game 2 hours before the game and sit there in cages and just cheer like Jordan, 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 Jordan. I mean, I felt like I was Michael Jordan walking down the street to my little hometown in Barcelona. I couldn't go anywhere. They love basketball. They love sports. And the basketball is coming. I played with some Hispanics that could flat out play. Fernando Martin, Chito Sibilio. These guys, man, are legends. And anybody know basketball, follow European basketball, these guys was unbelievable. A couple of them played in the NBA that I played against later on. They played in the NBA. But the European basketball, it ain't no joke. That's why you see these MVPs now.
That's right.
In the NBA, they're taking over. And there's more coming.
Yeah.
And they're getting drafted by leaps and bounds. So we've got to make the adjustments here. We haven't done it yet. Where we got to change something. The culture is not good. And we've got to change it. That's why we need programs like yours and mine, something to really developing these kids and getting with them and understanding. One thing I love about playing over there too, we practice and we practice hard, but we play one game a week.
Yes.
We play one game a week.
You don't get that bang on the body like that.
Oh, absolutely. But when you play, you compete and you're getting after it. And when you practice, but your body feels good and you got to enjoy life a little bit more.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Val's got something special. You know, as we get to talking here, we're gonna talk about this book. It's called Gracefully Broken. Gracefully Broken. But before we get into it, a couple of questions. We got a little something queued up. Val, you want to play that real quick?
A state champion at Northrop, an All-American at Purdue, an NBA player, father, son, husband and coach, businessman and entrepreneur. Yeah, Walter Jordan has had a lot of titles in his life. His latest, how about author? Yeah, the Fort Wayne native penning his autobiography titled Gracefully Broken. And while there are stories about jump shots and rebounds, it is truly a book about bouncing back.
Jordan is coming into the ball game. Walter Jordan.
It was amazing. I got a chapter called 312, as you know, East Masterson Street. That's where I grew up, and that's where the foundation was laid, and the awesome memories and neighborhood. 7 boys in 1 bedroom. You know, if you don't become close at that point, you never will.
It's all over. The ball game is all over. Fort Wayne Northrop has won its first Indiana High School basketball championship.
You may know Walter Jordan, the basketball player, the one who led Northrop to the state title in 1974, the one who was an All-American at Purdue, the one who played in the NBA for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But his autobiography, Gracefully Broken, isn't about the man you saw on the court.
It's not a basketball story. And they don't know the ups and downs. They don't know the heartaches. They don't know the difficulties it took trying to bounce back and keep getting knocked down, keep bouncing back and keep believing in yourself.
From his mother's passing during his senior season of high school, to a rare disease that almost ended his pro career when it started, to the death of his son, Jordan hopes his experiences can bring strength to those who are going through something similar.
I wanted to tell my own story. I'm tired of hearing people tell my story, which is not my story. So I figured I needed to tell my story, and I wanted to do it from a very, very personal, transparent, much as it hurt, perspective.
Jordan spent the last 11 months writing the book, and with its recent debut, saw it climb to #1 on Amazon's list of new releases in the category of basketball.
We all been broken. The key is to be broken gracefully and let it humble you and let it grow you, and then know who God says you are. Not what email says you are. Know who God says you are. That's going to give you the strength to fulfill God's purpose, whatever it is for your life.
Man, Master Son in Lafayette, baby. Put him on the map. We welcome Val, the voice, in the studio with the one and only Coach Tony and my guy, Walter. And Val, welcome.
Val,
Welcome. And
Val, you got me, Val. You got me. You're still in my heart, young lady. That's touchy. I'm trying not to tear up. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
yeah, and I asked Coach permission to come on because I just walked into being an author and all those type of things. But the one thing that I was so remarked by reading through Gracefully Broken was just how much reverence you gave to your family and growing up. And you lost your mom early at age 17, just kind of navigating, number one, playing, for Purdue and playing and, professionally in the NBA. But it's like your mom didn't get a chance to see the success that you had. I'm just wondering, have you ever thought, was that in titling your book kind of that homage to your mom to say, I've gone through all these things, but I have been broken. I've made these plans. God's made these plans for me, but I'm, I have to go God's way, or just, I can't do my own thing. I have to go the way God's telling me to go. So it's a lot.
Thanks for bringing that up, and congratulations on your book. I can't wait to read your book. Let me say this as humbly as I possibly can. My mom is the strongest and most influential, greatest person I've ever met in my life. And I've only known her since I was 17. She's the most prayingest woman I've ever met. Every night on her knees, out loud while 10 kids are in the house being fools and acting. She's praying out loud and not getting off her knees until she mentioned all of our names in some capacity that she needed God to address for us. I still hear her praying to this day. I'm still trying to make her proud. Everything I do is about my mom. Everything.
That's right.
She gives me strength, inspiration, fight. I know who I am. She always said, know who God says you are. Never doubt that.
Amen.
Believe in yourself. We are so blessed in my family. I don't think my family is like my world. We're all over 64 years old and we're all still here.
Oh, yeah.
That ain't God, I don't know what is. That ain't mama's prayers, I don't know what is. You really make me go to church here, Val.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about my mom. And that's why I tell kids, anybody who disrespects your mom, thank you, Val. Anyone who disrespects, I tell them you're a punk. I tell them to their face, you're a punk. Anybody who disrespects women, you're a punk. Women are, especially black women, y'all the queen, y'all the stuff. Y'all the strongest people on this earth.
Yes, sir.
People try to bring you down. People try to bring you down, but you guys keep rising. Our only hope in this country is y'all.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
That's our only hope.
And tell them, well, when you got, as speaking of your siblings, tell them how you got the opportunity to name the book Gracefully Broken.
Yeah, I never meant to write a book, but I don't know if you probably went with the intent of writing the book. I wasn't that smart. It was during COVID. And I had free time for the first time in a long time. I had free time, no speaking engagements. I didn't have to travel. I had free time. So I'm sitting in my man cave and I write every day. I write and read. That's something I do every day. So I can't wait to read your book. I write and read every day. I do devotion. I do those things. I praise God every day. And I get up and get my 2 wins every day. I talk about my 2 wins later. But when I start writing the book, I start writing and I just start writing about my life. I said, okay, every day I'm gonna write a little about my life. I start thinking about my high school career, how I grew up, my neighborhood, my village, and the awesome village we grew up in, and how powerful Masterson Street was, 312 East Masterson Street, where we saw Dad and Mom in the household, both in the household. We know we didn't have much, none of us had much, but I saw dads go to work every day in their hard hats and come back home at dirty. And get up on Sundays, go to church, and we'd be kind to everybody in the neighborhood and sit out on the porch and we have conversations and everybody knew everybody's name. And if I got in trouble with my neighbor, my mom knew before I got home and I got my butt whooped and they whooped my butt. And so that's where we grow up. So I started writing about my life, and that just took me to being in 5th grade when I got cut, 6th grade, all through high school. And I just kept writing. Then all of a sudden, I said, dang, I look like I'm writing a book here. And so I said, I might as well write a book. So I started writing 2 months into it. And I said, you know what? I got to get a title because kept going backwards and forward because you got to get a title. You got to get some direction, right? And I kept praying about it. I said, well, Lord, I had about 10 things written down, kept erasing. That don't sound right. No. I called my sister Loretta. She's one of the smartest people I've ever met. She's a year older than me. And she knows me better than anybody because I follow her. She's a good athlete and very smart. I didn't follow her academically because she's a brilliant, smart. But I called her up, and she's in the ministry, and she's God-fearing. And she says to me, I said, let me see you a couple of pages. I call her Ski. She's AKA IU graduate. And I said, you know what? Let me send this to you, and so you can look and help me with the title. She said, you don't need to send me anything. She said, I know you, boy. That's how she talks to me. I know you, boy. I know you, boy. A little brother, right? And she said, the name of your book is Gracefully Broken. I dropped the phone, literally dropped the phone.
Wow.
It hit me that hard. And then from there on, it flowed. The story started to come out. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Coach, when I was in the process of reading this book, I was thinking about just all of the wonderful words of wisdom. If you notice, while I was off screen, I was like grabbing some of the things that you were saying, Coach, and I'm going, oh, I got to put that in the chat because some of that was in the book. And I'm about halfway through it, but I have to say that this was really a great walkthrough of some of the trials and tribulations you've gone through in your life, and then just kind of how we grew up. We grew up different. Our generation is growing up differently than the kids that are growing up right now. And I see the shot doctor has said Queens. Really quickly, Coach Tony, there's another question here.
Oh, yes, my guy, Coach Troy. Coach Troy said, before you walk, he said, what's the biggest difference in the youth sports today opposed to 10, 12, 15, 20 years ago? And has recruiting changed in the same time frame? And I know because Coach Troy, before you answer that question, I love him to death. I had an opportunity to beat him over the last few years. A lot of his players, Walt, has come through me and gone on to go to college and come back, football, basketball. And he and I have gotten much closer the last season. And he comes out and watches my basketball practice. Doesn't have to, but he does all the time. He wanted to work with me for AAU and do some things, and even in the future to do some stuff, and whether he picks up drills or not. So it's been really, really good. And just to have someone like that on the sideline give me a completely different opinion. He's kind of like Coach Tex Winners with Phil Jackson. You know what I mean? Tex over there on the bench, people dropping it out, but Tex got the answers. So he's saying, what do you see the difference is right now with youth today as you've seen in the past?
That's a great question. I get asked that question quite often. For me, real simple, it's the adults. It's the parents. Think about this. You got parents that want the kids to play when they can't even read.
Correct.
You got parents that want to argue with the coach about playing time.
Yeah.
You got parents who think they know more than the coach at every turn. They want to shovel the snow for them when it's snowing outside. They want to make everything easy for them. That's not good. Life is hard. I thank God my dad didn't give a damn about me playing no basketball.
Right.
I remember my brothers being in the house. I never get. We was talking about one of the games. One of my older brothers had a game, and he came in there complaining about one of his teammates missed some free throws and lost the game by 1 point because Larry missed 2 free throws. My dad walked in the room, looked at us, and said, "Oh, so you played a perfect game, huh? You didn't miss no shots. Your man didn't score a basket. You blamed it on Larry. Hell, you could have done something."
Right.
My dad know nothing about basketball, but he knew that.
He knew that much.
He knew that. We all got that message.
He knew that you didn't go 100% tonight.
Absolutely. Hey, Walt, coach tripping. No, you tripping. He the coach. They come to me and say, well, Coach Jordan, why you do this and why you know what I say? Because I'm the damn coach.
Right.
Period. In the subject.
In the subject, baby.
You got to be transparent with these parents. You got to let them know, no, don't come here with that. That's not happening here. You take that to some other program. Mm-hmm. I'm not confused about this thing called basketball. I'm not a scientist or a neurosurgeon, but I know this.
Right.
And I know kids. And I know I love your kid. I'm trying to fight for your kid. You kicking and screaming and howling. I'm trying to save your son's life. You worry about 2 points or it's scoring average. That's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Get his butt some tutor. Get him a tutor and get his grades together.
Right. And speaking of that right there for you guys, I'm loving Coach Walter Dell because I got my autograph copy right here, man. I jumped into it the day that I got it, man, and I was absolutely loving it, man, by far.
And he sent me this picture earlier. He texted this to me. I says, well, I'm going to make sure I put it on.
I love it. I love it. Send me that picture. Send me that, please. I love it.
Put it on Facebook, which Val got to sit it because she's already got it propped up. This is a question that I ask all my guests, man. It's very spiritual and, and dear to me, and looking back at what you're doing, and looking at your journey, and I've seen the journey, right? Now, it's funny, sometimes Val's special because we know we got this thing, but she'll tell you she laughs sometimes when she asked me about the guests, and I go, oh, my bad, Val, I forgot to give you such and such, because I've been knowing for so damn long. Because when the stuff that she needs, I don't have it because I'm like, it's here. I don't have to go get all the stuff on walk because I already got it here. I've been knowing,
Yeah, absolutely.
So looking at that, when you do that, and what would be for the people that are on, Coach Troy, Coach Justin, my boy Debo, and, they're asking these good questions because they got kids right now, grandkids that are coming up. My granddaughter's getting ready to play. Could you leave these guys with a message that the kid that's talented, or the kid, like I told you, that was in my program that somebody didn't think was talented, who superseded a kid who thought was talented? What's the message can you leave, so that these kids leave this, podcast tonight and starting tomorrow, their mindset is in a different direction?
That's a great question. I can talk about 20 minutes for that, but I'll keep it real simple. The secret is, there ain't no damn secret.
Okay, I like that.
The secret is you got to bust your butt. You got to trust in the Lord. You got to believe God. You got to know who God says you are. God says you're a conqueror. God says you're a king and a queen.
Yes.
God said you can do all things.
That's right. True.
When God tells you who you are, why listen to anything or anybody else?
Amen.
You determine. Those 3 things I started this conversation with. The bad news is the devil has a plan for your life. The second thing is, the good thing is that God also has a plan for your life. But the best thing is you get to choose. And once you know who God says you are, the choice is easy.
Oh, I love
it. The choice is yours. You can get with this, and you can get with that.
I love it. I love it, Val.
Well, this is where it's at. Let's go, man. Coach, hey, listen,
God
man.
is where it's at. What?
Man, I'm already putting my brakes.
Y'all got me having church up in here.
Hey, listen, my brother. I want to appreciate you again for, we've been trying to get you here for a minute. And Val don't understand sometimes, Walt, how long it takes me to get y'all brothers on this show, man. I got to chase y'all. It ain't nothing simple, but it's just the love, man, y'all have for me. And I appreciate you, again, for taking time out of your schedule. And we got some more work to do because I got a couple other things. I got some projects I will be talking to you about. But I want to appreciate your time for showing up on the Pull Up Podcast show with your boy, Coach Tony. Get an exclusive interview tonight, and I appreciate it. Val, you got something for him?
Well, of course, we have one of our super fans in the building, all the way from Bermuda. Bermuda. It is
Bermuda.
Bermuda.
Hey, JB,
God
you better call me. I ain't playing. I keep getting at you. I ain't playing with you no more.
And Walter, Coach Walter, we have Jill Jordan Green. She's proud of my
awesome
uncle,
niece.
Walt. Ultimate mentor. Ultimate mentor. That's a beautiful compliment.
That's my phenomenal, brilliant niece. Thank you. I love her to death. Thanks.
Yeah, just all that love. All that love.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna throw it back to you, Coach, about what do you do since you know what you do with the Rise NIL?
It's been one of them situations that, speaking of God, same thing. Walt put this together during the pandemic with nothing to do, laying around, trying to figure stuff out. Still got the basketball coach, Justin, and myself working. And then the NIL hit. And I said, wait a minute, I better jump on the ground level. So I put together the Rise NIL to simply come together and help these kids maximize their potential in the sports that they play. And I don't just leave it to basketball. I've got a young lady playing volleyball at Belmont, another young lady I was telling you about, that's been on our show before, and Malik Chinyeri, in high school, big time tennis star, going to be a big pro as well. And, I kind of do that. And then we try to just make sure that once we do that and show these kids how to unleash their potential, we just try to show them how to get the maximum earning. So we talk to these different brands about, hey, what can we do? And it becomes very obviously that the brands want something, so do we. So I'm glad to have that opportunity to launch that as well. Awesome. And then, speaking of launching and all that,
let me make sure that I do this really quick. I'm looking for the QR code. I really love your. Yeah, so it's at the top here. You guys can go ahead and scan that QR code and get the book Gracefully Broken. It's available on Amazon. And of course, I'll go ahead and place it in the chat for you guys. But you scan that QR code and you can get the book from Walter Jordan, Gracefully Broken. We
over
are excited.
7,000 copies already sold, Val. Over 7,000.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. And then on tomorrow night, we're gonna. Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot about this. I wrote a book called "A DJ Saved My Life."
This is you. She have a story.
I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to read it.
DJ, but she got a book. What?
That's awesome.
It's my personal memoir, and I give people the ABCs of starting your own podcast. Please go to purelighthouse.media.com to get merch or to purchase the signed book. I'll go ahead and sign it for you. But on tomorrow night, we are going to be talking about this film that just got released. Devon Franklin and Tyler Perry have come together to put this film out called Ruth and Boaz. Sounds familiar? If you've read the book of Ruth in the Bible in the Old Testament, you might know about this.
Yes,
you might know about this, right, Walter?
We watched it the other day, my wife and I. Absolutely.
What did you think? What did you think?
Phenomenal. Well, I love the storyline and just it's I'm telling you, it's worth the watch. Watch it with your mate. Watch it with your mate. Great love story. Beautiful. Great
love story. And I think Felicia Rashad as Naomi was perfectly cast. But we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be reviewing this on tomorrow night. So come join us on the entertainment side of things. And we really got into everything with the freedom of speech last week. So we missed talking about Reasonable Doubt. Coach Tony has done 6 episodes. I've only done 3, but I'll probably get caught up by tomorrow. But definitely check out Ruth and Boaz. It is currently streaming on Netflix. It's not strictly a Tyler Perry film. I could definitely tell Devon Franklin had his hand in it because it didn't turn out. Yeah, it didn't turn out the way some of
Let me say this. Let me say this, guys. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys are first class. This I've done a lot of podcasts. This is the most fun I've ever had done one. You guys are absolute best. Keep doing the work. We need you in this community, and I'll be tuning in more often. I'll be in tomorrow, Val, to hear you. So
yeah, we appreciate
your book. Love you guys to death. Really appreciate that. Really,
man, we love it. And Val shortcutted herself too, by the way, Walt. Cause I'm gonna do it like she does me sometimes. The book is a personal memoir of how being a DJ saved her life, and then she came back. So there's some deep conversations in that book.
I'm ordering it tonight. I'm getting it tonight.
And by the way, Val, he already working on me because he told me after last Friday we did the show, Coach Tony, you got to get this book together. He already been told. He already working on me right now.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to get him. We're going to get him, Val. We're going to get him.
We got to put it out.
and Janita's calling you first class, Brother Walter. She's already calling you first class all the way from Bermuda. But guys,
awesome.
Join us on tomorrow for Interlude Section Presents Talk on Tuesdays. But Coach, you know when to close us out?
Man, you already know what we do. We put them deuces up like this. Peace.
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 Be blessed. Be blessed.
Love.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the boys and Coach Tony, you know it's the Pull Up Podcast. So I said bounce the boys and Coach Tony, you know it's the Pull Up Podcast. So it's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So it's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So Kev is the engineer. Val is the one you hear. Hey, Coach Tony got the sports show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So I said Kev is the engineer. Val is the one you hear. Hey, Coach Tony got the sports show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So it's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Let's go. Hey. Let's go. Hey. Let's go. Hey. Let's go. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast.